Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here. Time to do my full review on the Galaxy S10e, which is Samsung's less expensive model of their S10 series. Now, when it comes down to it, no, this is not a budget device considering it is $750. However, when you compare it to the S10 at $900, you can still save yourself some money. Now, I did just do a review on the S10 Plus. I'll link to that down below if you want to check it out. But let's get into the full review of the S10e. Again, I'd like to take a look at one of the more important features of this phone, and that's just the overall design, because that's what makes it the most different between the other models. Of course, this is the most compact, even though it does still have a 5.8-inch display in a very compact size. And just because this device is priced lower than the S10 doesn't make it any less premium looking or feeling. Overall, it still has a flagship feel to it. Now, down at the bottom, of course, have to thank Samsung, still including that headphone jack. Awesome, they're still doing that. I will make note, the speaker is actually worse on this device than it is on the S10 Plus. Just doesn't get as loud. The quality isn't as good either. Don't get me wrong, the speakers are still very good, especially because it does have dual stereo speakers with the earpiece coupled with that bottom speaker. It's just not as good as the S10 Plus. This is the Flamingo Pink model, in case you were wondering, which I really like as a color. I just don't think I would choose it as my phone color in general. Now, let's move on to one thing that really makes it different from the other models is that power button, which couples as a fingerprint scanner. And overall, I find that it does unlock it very quickly. You'll see I'll press it, hold my finger on it, unlocks it right away. It's very quick. I don't necessarily need to press the power button either. I can actually just set it on and it unlocks it. So you'll see it's quick, very accurate. I do find my thumb does not rest where that power button is, so I do have to kind of adjust just a little bit to actually reach all the way up. And when it comes to locking and unlocking your phone, you can double tap to actually activate the display. I do like that you have to reach up to actually unlock it, so there's no accidental presses at all. However, I do wish they brought it down just a little bit for my hand size, because they have actions on the power button. You can actually swipe down twice on the power button to bring down that notification tray, which is very convenient. However, you do have to adjust your hand to reach up and actually use that action, as opposed to you could even just adjust it and pull down. So just one little thing I've noticed. Over time, I've also realized that I'm going to register more than just my thumb to unlock it. I have my left middle finger to unlock it as well, along with, believe it or not, my right pointer finger, because when it's sitting flat on a desk, I find I pick it up like this a lot and then just press it on the side to check the notification, and then I go ahead and set my pointer finger on it to unlock and then just readjust. That's just from my usage, the 3 fingers that I've had to register, and it is pretty much accurate and quick every single time. When you look on the left side of the phone, you will see volume rockers along with an extra button, and this is not another powered button. This is actually the Bixby button dedicated, and I like having it because you can remap it with an app. I believe it's called BX Actions. All I have it do when I press it is open the Google Assistant. So very easy to remap. You can have it open a specific app or a quick shortcut button. And don't worry, the E still has the IP68 waterproof rating along with an SD card slot for expandable storage. Now, the one thing I also noticed in comparison with the S10 Plus is that the vibration motor seems a little bit less premium. It's not that it's bad by any means, it's just less premium than the S10 Pluses. The S10e has the best 1080p AMOLED display on any phone right now. Yes, you will have to sacrifice quality a little bit. It is not 1440p like the S10 is. However, it is still very good. Most people will not notice a difference, and it will also help with battery life. Also, don't forget there is a hole punch in the display itself, which you get used to. I don't mind it whatsoever. The phone also has a night mode to actually use darker colors to help with eye strain. You can actually schedule it or just turn it on by default. I like having it on by default. I just like the darker theme, but you will see overall the entire OS gets themed in that night mode if you turn it on. Also, of course, don't forget there's reverse wireless charging, so you can charge other wireless devices with your phone. Again, surprised Samsung didn't leave this out of the E variant, but they actually put it in. Now, when it comes to battery life, this has a 3100 milliamp hour battery, which is a full 1000 milliamp hours less than the Plus variant. And it shows, actually. You'll see here 3 hours, 49 minutes screen on time with 30% battery life left. Now, for me, this phone has got me through the day just barely every time, so it will get me through the full day. Keep in mind, I'm a pretty heavy user. You'll see 4 hours, 14 minutes screen on time, 29% battery, and then at 5%, almost 5 hours screen on time. So for me, there were a couple times I needed to give it a quick charge before I went out, just in case, but if you are a pretty standard user, you will be fine getting through the day. But when comparing it to the S10 Plus and that 4100 milliamp hour battery, there is definitely a big difference. This has worse battery life than the S10 Plus has. Moving on to the camera, I don't want to go into it too much because I went in depth more in my S10 Plus review. I'll link to that down below. You will see there's only 2 lenses in comparison to the other models having 3 because they have ditched the telephoto lens. So no optical zoom on the E. However, they still did include that ultra wide angle lens, which I find I would actually prefer on a phone over a telephoto lens. So this is the standard wide angle lens. And then if you go ahead and tap this is the ultra wide angle lens. So you'll see you can include so much more in the shot than you can with the standard lens. You can still zoom in, but just keep in mind that this is always going to be digital zoom. The camera app itself has a ton of features. There is no shortage at all in them, including live focus mode to blur the background. It even has a pro mode so you can customize your shots to your liking, but also Instagram mode. So when you go ahead and go into it, you can use that ultra wide angle lens or the standard lens if you would like to. And then if you go ahead and snap the shot, it will go ahead and throw it into the Instagram app, and where you can actually just go ahead and put it on your stories if you like to. Feel free to follow me on Instagram if you like, link below. And here are just some pictures taken with the S10e very quickly. Like I said in my S10 Plus review, the only case that it really does struggle in comparison with other flagships is that lower light. I think their next iteration of phone, Samsung, really needs to focus on making those lower light shots a little bit brighter. Next is something I also don't really want to get into as much because it has the same processor as the S10 and S10 Plus, the Snapdragon 855 from Qualcomm, which handles everything I throw at it, whether I'm playing a lot of high-end games, whether I'm doing a lot of multitasking. So if we want to go ahead and do some multitasking, go into the Play Store, go into an app, maybe swipe up, go into the calculator, do a quick calculation, hit equals, maybe go into the calculator or the camera and snap a couple quick pictures. Swipe up from the bottom left corner to get to our recent apps, and then you'll see go back into the app and it is all ready to go. So RAM management works just fine. Performance has been fantastic. Really nice that Samsung really didn't skimp out on processing power in the E model. And of course, there is the skin over Android One UI that Samsung uses, which has been my favorite so far that Samsung has come up with. Keep in mind, I went more in depth in my S10 Plus review, but it is on Android 9 Pie, the latest. However, Samsung has actually been slow with Android updates overall. I do really like the dark mode option. Also, keep in mind with their gestures, swipe up from the middle is home, swipe up from the bottom right's back, and bottom left is recent apps. Now, one thing I want to make note of is actually you need to have these little suggestions down towards the bottom if you want to do the quick gesture of going back and forth between apps. So you'll see just a little quick swipe over will swap quickly between your latest apps. So overall, that is it. Everything I want to cover on the compact S10e. Drop a comment, let me know what you think about this phone. In my opinion, this is the one I will be recommending to a lot of people looking to buy a Galaxy phone, the latest Galaxy phone, but don't want to spend the price tag of the S10 or the S10 Plus. I'm really happy Samsung is actually going the route of including a more budget style phone. Again, not necessarily budget because of the higher price point, but still nice that you can save some money and still get an extremely premium flagship phone. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to click that thumbs up button. Be sure to subscribe as well. A lot more videos to come. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.